once again. Today we'll move to lesson 3 of IT and freight forwarding. And today we are going to discuss the internet and security. So in this lesson, we're going to have an overview of the internet, generally what the internet is, the internet service provider, security policy of the company or organization that you work for. Now, what is the security policy? And then we're going to talk about viruses and how to resolve issues of virus propagation. So no one would exactly know how many computers, as we speak in 2020, are connected to the internet. I think it's going to be an impossibility to know right now, since basically our daily lives are now, connected to the internet in whatever we do at home, in our offices, in schools, especially with the advent of COVID. You can imagine what now, all students, even working, learning from home, workers, working from home, everybody is connected to the internet these days. Now, the numbers have steadily been increasing exponentially since the 1990s, when the, internet itself was discovered. In January 1993, it was estimated that about 1.313 million host computers were connected to the internet. By 2004, just a little over 10 years, it was estimated over 500 million people worldwide had access to the internet. So, of course, in 2020, I don't think we can begin to even count. Basically, almost every household now somehow is connected to the internet. So, basically, for an overview, we should know that there are a huge number of people worldwide who are connected to the internet. So what is it? Anyway, what is the internet? Now we read, it says the internet is defined by a set of standards that allow computers to exchange messages. And the internet itself is just a communication system for computers. And this is a method of connecting computers together. So basically, computers talk to other computers via the internet. And so it's just a set of standards that, through communication allow internet to speak to each other. Okay? Now, there is no single person or group, as is said, who is in charge of the internet. Of course, you would know it is impossible. So anyone who wishes to connect a computer to the internet simply agrees to pay for a communication link, which we all know. We all have ISP providers whom we pay. So maybe you might be using a Vodafone connectivity. I might be using an MTN router or Surfline or whatever. Now, and to install, so you ask these internet service providers, to install communications hardware and software. You pay them to do this. And this one supports the internet standard protocols. So participation in the internet is voluntary, and there are few rules, just standard practices and agreements. We say also that participation in the internet is voluntary, per your own will, as to you wanting to go onto the internet. Nobody can stop you. And there are very few rules, but just standard practices and agreements for you to get onto the internet. So who's the internet service provider? We say that the internet has a hierarchy of service providers, i.e. in Ghana, as we see, we have varying. We have Vodafone, we have MTN, we have Surfline. These are all internet service providers. Now, the client PCs within our homes and businesses which we use are connected to the internet via these local internet service providers, who in turn are also linked to larger ISPs, okay, with connection to the major national and international infrastructures or backbones. So basically what we need to worry about is that we are connected to the internet via ISPs, that we use locally. They are also connected to larger international ISPs. And so at any point in time, we can communicate through these ISPs with other computers worldwide. Now, each connection is made over a communication link. So local links are typically made over telephone wires or coaxial lines from cables. We hear of fiber cables and all that. Now, so these connections are made through the telephone wires or coaxial lines or these fiber cables. Now, a few companies provide satellite connections or wireless services wherever you may go. So it could be through the wires, the links, or it could be satellite linkages and all that, which are not too popular in our parts of the world. But then we know that ours are linked. These ISPs that we use, are linked to the larger ISPs. Now, they use the coaxial lines, they use fiber cables and all that, okay, to make these communication link work. Now, web browsers and other applications. Now, web browsers, we say, are software that are used to access the information on the World Wide Web that is stored on web servers. Now, at heart, browsers are simply software display devices. Browsers read incoming files, recognize the data type, and display the data as instructed. The data could be text, images, sound, or video. So I'm sure by now we all go onto the websites, onto the internet. Now, the browsers help us to source all these different sites, where we can pass a lot of information or gather and receive a lot of information. Okay, now these types of information come in all sorts of forms. It could be just text, it could be images, it could be sound, or it could be video. So I'm sure we all go on there. You could watch some videos on YouTube, or you could have pictures of vehicles. If you want to buy a car, you go to maybe a vehicle auction website, and you can find images of the car that you want to buy. And then it could be just pure text. When you go and say Google, and you Google, you want to find out information about from a particular source or about something, it could just come out in text for you to read. Now, some major web browsers are Microsoft Internet Explorer, there's Firefox, there's Google Chrome, Safari, etc. Okay? Now, browsers, as we say, display the text and graphics accessed from the websites and provide tools for you to manage the information from these websites. So we say that the web browsers, allow us to source information from the www, or the World Wide Web. In short, we call it the web, right? Now, so the web, or the World Wide Web, www, is a medium for publishing information on the internet. Now, there is a standard document format known as the HTML. Please remember this. HTML. Now, the format in which these World Wide Web, these pages are created, is called the Hypertext Markup Language. Hypertext Markup Language. I would be happy if you could look up the word hyper and then see why it plays in here. So it says hypertext. Text is just the writing, the text. So hyper. Please look up the word hyper, and then you would understand why they use this. Now, Hypertext Markup Language. Okay? Now, many web browsers provide facilities. They allow users to construct their own World Wide Web pages. So, i.e., if you're working in a company could have, a designer in your, computer department or IT department who can actually come up with your own website for the company. Now, the standard document, the format that they use to create this website for your company is called the Hypertext Markup Language. Now we'll go on to find out why it is so, why we have the hypertext. It says the HTML, or the hypertext markup language, offers hyperlinks. I think you would remember the use of the word hyper. That is why I want us to go and research the word hyper, why they're using the word hyper. Okay, so the HTML offers hyperlinks, which allow users to readily move from one document to another, known as surfing or browsing. I think we've commonly used the word browsing. I'm going to browse the net. It means I'm going to search something on the net. The ability to move from one place to another in the same page. There are links. Once you click them, you move to another page. You click another link, it moves you. So you have links, and so that is hyper. It keeps on giving. Okay? So please look up the word hyper and relate it to the usage here. Hyperlinks, hypertext. Okay? That is very important to understand how the browser works on the the website, how it works and how it was created. It will help you to understand. So we say hyperlinks are highlighted words or phrases in HTML document, hypertext markup language document, which links to other documents or sections of the same document. Clicking the mouse above one of the links causes it to be activated. A link can be used to move to another document, transfer a file, view a section of video, listen to a sound file, or carry out a number of actions. So I am sure most of you will go on the net, and then whilst you are reading a particular text, you realize that there is a word that is underlined and then has maybe a different color, usually blue or green. Now, that is a link. The moment you click on that, it will take you to another page, because you want to maybe, that word is a hyperlink. It's a header on its own that if you want to read, that then refers you to another page. So that's why they call them hyperlinks. So these are highlighted words. Like I said, if the text is in all black, you realize that these words are in different colors and are underlined. Okay, so that these are the highlighted words, and they are linked, so they will lead you to other pages. Now, all web browsers provide users with a variety of tools that enable them to navigate through complex collections of World Wide Web pages. Now, some of the most common tools include navigation buttons. You see a forward and a backward button, or an upward button. You can scroll down, scroll up. To also, like I said, to move backwards and forwards through the list of pages previously viewed. So you realize that once you go onto a particular website and you keep searching for different things, the moment you go hit search, it will drop down, give you a drop down history of other searches that you have done. So it's easier to go back and refer to something that you have already searched for, or to type in new things that you wish to search for. Okay? Now, other command buttons include stop, home, search, and history, as we have just mentioned. The history of your previous searches that you've made. The search allows you to type in new things that you want to look for. You stop, or the home is the base page of that World Wide Web, or the website in which you are.